Hey friend, welcome to Polygon Legends. I'm your host, Serge. Today what we're going to do is I'll show you how easy it is to replace the shell on your Nintendo 64. Does it come with instructions? No, but you know what? We'll figure it out. I love this thing. I've had this thing for years, been playing it for years. It's got some issues. There's a few scratches on top, it's scuffed up, and I realized that you can buy replacement shells for these online. And I found one on Amazon. I'm gonna go ahead and put the link in the description for you so that you can get it. You're gonna have a nice new shell too. By the way, I used to build computers, so this should be easy as heck. I'm a big Sega Saturn fan, and when I saw this, retro was cool. It just reminded me of the Sega Saturn. I remember seeing in magazines there was a Japanese version that was transparent that said, "This is cool." Is it coincidence? I think not. I think whoever designed this did that as a nod. We're going to put the new shell on this Nintendo 64 and we're going to make it universal so we can play both American and Japanese games. Now the reason why Japanese Nintendo 64 games won't play on an American console is because they have region protection. And the way they did it on the Nintendo 64 is on the very bottom you can see here these little indents. All US Nintendo 64 games have the indents right here. So here we have Gomon. I'll use this as an example, one of my favorite games. I found it complete in the box straight from Japan. Anyways, as you can see they have the tabs placed differently on this. So they did this so that all of us who have an American Nintendo 64 will not be able to put in a Japanese game. Inside here there's a little plate that has little notches that support the placement of the American games. And we're going to take that out and replace it with one that has the notches removed. So this way I'll be able to play both American and Japanese games. Alright, so let's get started, shall we? Here's the beautiful Nintendo 64. And as you can see, it's got this is where you put in your cartridge for your games. It has a power switch. It has a reset switch. It has an expansion port where you can put your jumper pack in. It has 4 controller ports in the front. And then in the back, we have here's the power right here. And then we've got the AV port right here. So those are all the components we have to be careful with as we take this thing apart. And then in the back we have an extension port, which is just a cover, and then we've got 6 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to be taking out those screws first. Actually, you know what? Before I take out those screws, let's go ahead and remove any of these auxiliary things. Let's go ahead and take that out. Take out our beautiful jumper pack. Okay, now we can continue with the removal of the screws. So now that we have all 6 screws taken out from the bottom, we can go ahead and just lift this. And you can see there is the physical copy protection that we're going to remove. We're actually going to use those screws and we're going to use them on this one here, this universal one that we're going to install to the top of that shell. Doing this all one-handed because I have to hold the camera. I need to invest in a proper top-down tripod because my other tripod isn't good for this kind of thing. Okay. There are those 2 screws. This comes out easily. There's the old one. Here's the new one. So let me go ahead and show you the differences. So see, the Nintendo one, the USA one, has these notches on the end, while the Universal one does not have any notches. So any cartridge will work with this one. It's going to be great. Okay, then we have these little doors that we're going to take out and put into the new one, so that looks pretty easy. Just gonna do that so we don't lose it. Alright, so that's it for this. Let's go ahead and move that. Let's take our new shell, put that like so, and we're going to remove these springs from these old doors and put them on the new ones because the new ones didn't come with any springs. Drop them in right here. and make sure this part of the springy piece stays on the outside because that's what's going to keep the door shut. Alright, so first I'm going to hold it down with my hand like that so that we can put on the new universal copy protection piece. Alright, that goes just like that. Alright, that should be good to go. Now what we need to do is put the screws in. Okay, now we're going to add in the two buttons, which we have right here. Here is the power button. And then our lovely little reset button. It's going to go right here. All right, look at that. Next, we're going to take the guts out of the Nintendo 64 so we can transfer them over. These 10 crossbar screws. Now that those 10 screws have been removed from here, we're going to have to take these two out that hold down this little shield. And then we're going to take out these two black ones and this one right here. Finally remove the two here that are holding down the jumper pack shield. Now we'll remove the 3 pieces of the shield. Take that out. Remember, that was tucked under here. This was right here. Take that out. And then finally that. Okay. Alright, so now it looks like we have 2 up here on the shield. Then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 7 screws total we got to take out. Right, almost there, chat. All we have left now are 2 screws here for the power, and then 2 screws here for the AV. So let's go ahead and get those out. All right, now that those screws are out, this thing will simply come out. But you know what, before we do that, let's clean this a bit. Alright, the Nintendo 64 is actually quite small, as you can see. I'm not going to take this apart any further because we don't need to. Now we're just going to transfer this over to the new case and start putting all the little bits back together. Alright, before we transfer it over though, let's go ahead and take out these metal bits that we see right here because the new one didn't come with those, and I'm wondering if we should keep this original frosted one because I think I like the original one better than the one that came with this. Okay, so here's our new shell. I just went ahead and put the original LED light thingy back in because you know what, let's just keep that in there. And then I put these metal things in here, so now we're just gonna drop the motherboard on there and get back to work. All right, you know what? I'm gonna need 2 hands. Let's go ahead and drop that in. So far, so good. It's sitting there. Now we've got to use this new part right here. There we go. And now we just work backwards. We'll start with putting these screws in right over here. see these two long ones, which went in right here. Okay, so we have the two heat shield ones in. Now we need to put these three back in right here, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have our 5 right here. Remember, we had two black ones and then two long ones. So the two long ones go right here. And then the two black ones go right here. So now we've got, let's see, 1, 2. Then we've got these two guys that go right here. And then finally we have these last two, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which we happen to have right here. Okay, looks like we have everything in there. Now, put the door back on right here. We'll put our expansion pack in. Cute, right? One last thing, the Nintendo 64 sticker. There we go. And now let's do a fitting test. American Nintendo 64 game fits all the way. Japanese Nintendo 64 game fits all the way. Now, let's go ahead and test it. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope you got to learn a little bit about how easy it is to actually replace the shell on your Nintendo 64. Now, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit like and subscribe for more content like this. And if you've already been following me, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Now, next week, we're going to talk about the ED64, which is a flash cartridge for the Nintendo 64. I'm excited to dive into that. Well, thanks for watching Polygon Legends, and once again, I'm your host Serge, and I'll see you on the next one.